Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I greet you all according to your time and locations. You'll be watching this video. Yes, my dear viewers, I am back again with another update. So guys, I have a video here I would like we all to watch. But before then, if you're meeting my channel for the very first time, you're highly welcome. Please kindly do well to like, share, and subscribe. Leave your thought on the comment section. Let us know what you think about this video, and I will see you towards the end.
That President Tinubu had made some impact since inauguration into office, but took strong exception to majority of his decisions taken so far, especially in the areas of fuel subsidy removal and signing of the student loan bill. According to them, what Nigerian students and their families need at this time is not any scheme that could impoverish them any longer and mortgage or stifle the future of the country.
Rely on the trade unions to address the problems confronting the Nigerian people. Secondly, it is also important for us in mobilizing our people to be armed with sufficient information. One of which is this thing about 114% proposed salary increase. And let me say here, no public officer in Nigeria today relies on approved salaries. They have found their way out of the salary structure, starting with the National Assembly. What is recommended by the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission for a senator is about 1 million naira per month. On their own, they have awarded themselves 15 million naira per month. House of Reps, 13 million naira per month. So if they are talking of 114% of that, they may be talking of over 30 million naira per senator.
The issue of Nigeria has never been about the participation of the Nigerian people in the affairs of their country. It has always been about a group of elites who believe that everything that should belong to us belongs to them. So if we're not careful, one day you're going to wake up and they tell you, because the one Mr. Dejo of the Ministry of the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education was saying recently, a few days ago, talking about Students Loan Act, that they're going to run it on a PPP basis, public-private partnership. So who are the private investors? You can be sure that they're not even going to invest one kobo in it. It's about taking over the assets of the Nigerian people.
The labor movement, the working class movement remain the primary class of the society. But we also know the state of what that movement is today. So we have a duty and we have that responsibility. And that's the first thing, is to reject all that is happening to us now. Nothing should be taken as final. The unfortunate thing that happened was the collapse, even before lifting a finger, of our labor that have decided to fight to defend the interests of our people. Even from the jokes that has happened, the regime himself was shocked that that strike will collapse even before it started.
Well, yesterday on the morning show, we spoke with the President Tinubu's special advisor on policy coordination, Hadiza Bala Usman. In the course of the conversation, she said that it will take a bit of time before the gains of the fuel subsidy removal and student loan bill will begin to filter through to those who are intended to benefit from them. And that again mirrored President Tinubu's position on the matter, which he expressed in the past week when suing for patience from the international community regarding recent far-reaching decisions on fuel subsidy and moves to restore sanity in the forex market. Sacrifice, the president said, will be key to delivering the desired result. But the Joint Action Front, a coalition of non-governmental organizations, differs, especially on the issue of student loans bill. In their words, the entire scheme is steeped in deceit, as the Nigerian people will once again be left with the short end of the stick. To chew over this matter, we are now being joined here by Achike Chude, who's a frontline human rights activist and Deputy Chairman of Joint Action Front. You saw him speaking on that report, and he joins us now to speak further. Good morning, Achike.
Yeah, good morning.
Good to have you in the studio with
us.
us.
It's a pleasure.
Good morning.
All right, let's start this way. I saw SAN Falano, there yesterday, speaking in his usual format, with fire and brimstone, if you like. But then, people recall that he met with the president about 2 weeks ago. Does it mean that things didn't turn out as he would have wanted? That's one. And then secondly, can you break down for us what precisely of the president's policies, just in 3 weeks, that you commend, and which ones do you have issues with?
Yeah, well, then, obviously we don't know what Femi Falana discussed with the president. And they had the privacy of that discussion. So we don't know unless either of them come to tell us what the discussion was about. But I also noticed you are quoting the president talking about the need for sacrifice, make more sacrifice. We have done that since 1979.
Let the poor breathe.
We've done that since 1979. Don't forget the MPN tighten your belt situation. So for over 4 decades, Nigerians have been the ones making the sacrifices. Femi Falana was talking about what the lawmakers are earning and all that. So it's always easy to say, look, Nigerians, bear with us. The president's advisor, Hadiza, also said the same thing. But it's our duty to look at what is going on and then to also look behind, the small prints, what the whole thing is all about. First of all, we don't know whether the government, the president has said, or the minister in the permanent secretary and minister of education has said that the government doesn't intend to keep on putting money in the educational sector. That's an abdication of responsibility, first of all. Education is a matter of national priority, especially now where the country is facing consequences of not educating its students, especially the youths. We have seen the insecurity in the country, which to some extent you will trace to the fact that a lot of people do not have sufficient education because education has a way of elevating the spirit and the intellect and making them stakeholders within the polity. So a lot of people you see today do not have any sense of, that they are stakeholders in this country. Beyond that is the fact that the maths doesn't sum up. The maths. We are talking about...
Will that be on the student loan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, going into it. We are talking about 133 million Nigerians in multidimensional poverty. That figure came out about a year ago, or more than a year ago. So we should be talking about 145 million Nigerians in multidimensional poverty. Things have gotten worse since then. So if you have 145 million Nigerians in multidimensional poverty, it will tell you that the situation within our tertiary institution that a lot of parents are struggling, And so you could say, okay, fine. The government, because they are all conjectures, the government has not told us how much the school fees would be that they are supposed to subsidize. Because again, you're talking about subsidy.
Yeah.
One way or the other that the government...
It's subsidy.
Exactly. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Which itself, because we formed this passion of demonizing anything subsidy. Meanwhile, the countries that are telling us remove subsidy are subsidizing steel industry in France, are subsidizing, the dairy industry in the Netherlands and the Scandinavian countries, are subsidizing food production in the United States and all that.
And subsidizing education.
Subsidizing education, social welfare and all that. And so, when it comes to Nigeria, because again, we are paying a price for the misgovernance and the corruption that has taken place. That's what this whole thing is all about. The political class have stolen almost everything. Now they say we don't have money. They also need to be able to pay the interest, 93% interest we are paying on our debt. So they need to pay. And so the Europeans are telling them, the IMF and the World Bank are saying, look, you can get this money to pay us from removing the subsidy. So you have no excuse to tell us you don't have money because we have seen how much you are saving from this subsidy. Therefore, you can pay us. So that is the primary reason why this thing is happening. Now, if you're looking at a situation, if you're looking at, let's just say 75%, there are about 4 million Nigerians, young people in the nation's tertiary institutions. In the university system, it's around maybe 1.8 million, maybe 2022 figures. In colleges of education, polytechnics, and all the other tertiary institutions, maybe another 2.2 million. That's about 4 million. Now, if you say you're going to give loan to students, about how many of them will apply because of the poverty in the country? So what you're going to have is that about 75% of these people, for instance, minimum would apply. That translates to around 600 billion. That translates to around 600 billion that the government has to pay for this subsidy. That also translates to around 8,000 and something applications that would be approved every single day. Per year. This is per year. You understand? So how can anybody sit and tell us that they have the capacity to approve that number and that they have the capacity? But so it's not just, and meanwhile, as we are talking, immediately the president made that announcement. Some universities have started increasing school fees. The loan scheme had not been put in place. Others are already, increasing school fees in those places. And so when you look at it and you realize that, look, this is not, besides, the government has a duty. The Abuja Declaration in 2001, indicated by the African Union, which Nigeria was a signatory to, 15%. This is not even the UNICEF recommendation of about 25-26%. 15% of the country's budget must go towards education. Nigeria is a signatory to it. Why are they telling us that they are not going to follow this? Apart from the fact that any increase in the nation's tertiary institution is illegal. If you look at the provisions of the Nigerian Constitution, you cannot increase school fees unless you go back to the to the Constitution to change it, to amend it. But our politicians have absolute disdain
for public institutions.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah.
I want to clarify. Where do you think the deceit is coming from at this point in regards to the student loan? Because as you know, I don't know if you've read the act, it's saying that the FIRS and other agencies will contribute about 1% of their revenue towards the act. And I think that they have budgeted about 200 billion naira at this point to cater to about 2 million students. And this is the first tranche at this point. So where is this deceit coming from?